Hello friends, I am Arpit and I am here with Yojana Analysis. Now we are covering Yojana Magazine in 3 parts for the month of August 2023. The first part has already been there, and this is the second part out of the third part. Here in this part we will be covering 2 topics. First is Atal Innovation Mission, which will focus on the importance of innovation. Governments not only of India but all across the world, they have a special emphasis on innovation, research and development. Innovation, research and development is not immediately rewarding. It will not give you money immediately. You may have to invest a lot of time, a lot of money also, and that is why very few people go for this. Very few people are involved in research and development or innovation because there is no instant return from that particular domain. Now the government has to pitch in this front, and the government in India has pitched in and launched the Atal Innovation Mission in 2016 for promoting innovation, for promoting research and development, right from the school level till the entrepreneurial level. So we will see the importance of innovation and particularly the Atal Innovation Mission in this particular topic. And second is agriculture from shortage to surplus. This is basically our journey post independence till now. When we became independence, the Britishers they left the agricultural sector in dire straits, simply meaning that they did not focus on the development of the agricultural sector when they were ruling over us. They had created 3 policies for revenue extraction from the farmers: the zamindari system, the Mehelwari system and the Rayotwari system. These were the 3, I would say, land laws or land reforms which the Britishers did, and these reforms were aiming at extracting money from the farmers or extracting rent or revenue or taxes from the farmers. Extracting taxes, taking taxes per se is not illegal, but when you are taking taxes, it is your duty to reinvest at least some portion of that on the development of that sector. Reinvestments in the form of irrigation facilities, or some form of, I would say, scientific innovations in the agricultural inputs like seeds, fertilizers, pesticides should have been done by the Britishers, but it was largely neglected. So what has been our journey from independence till date, where we are today in this particular domain, that is agriculture? And this is very, very important because maximum of our workforce or majority of our workforce is in the agricultural and related sectors. So we need to progress in this sector as well. This sector faces a lot of challenge, and one of the challenge is climate change or global warming. How we are preparing to deal with such kind of challenges, we'll also look into when we'll be covering this particular topic. So let's get started with the first topic, that is Atal Innovation Mission. Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan was the slogan given by Lal Bahadur Shastri. This slogan was given in the 1960s to motivate the Jawans because we had just lost the Indo-China War of 1962. Jai Kisan to motivate them for, because we were adopting green revolution and we wanted enhanced productivity. Atal Bihari Vajpayee expanded this slogan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan, to motivate the scientists when he was the Prime Minister. Narendra Modi, our present Prime Minister, expanded this slogan further, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan and Jai Anusandhan. Anusandhan translates as innovation. During the recent launch of Chandrayaan 3, Jai Vigyan Jai Anusandhan was again reiterated by our Prime Minister, which clearly signifies the importance of this word innovation for the present government. And why should not it be? Innovation basically can be defined as, a process of creating value by applying novel solutions to meaningful problems. Those existing problems, they can be resolved by, applying novel solutions, and that is innovation. And we are doing our best to foster innovation in India. Although we know that it is not immediately rewarding, and hence the government has stepped up. The government has stepped up in various forms. The recent one being Anusandhan National Research Foundation Bill, which has been passed in the monsoon session of 2023, which aims to provide around 50,000 crore of funding for research and development by the government, and also aims to attract around 36,000 crores of funding from the private sector. This funding is needed for research and development because there are imminent problems the society is facing today, and we need to find solutions to those problems. How we can find solutions to those problems? Innovation is one such way. Innovation's role in economic growth. Now, innovation's role is there in almost all spheres of our life, but majority we look towards innovation from economic growth. Now, here in this particular topic, we are going to study the journey, or I would say the economic history of mankind. In the first part of Yojana, when we covered Industry 1.0, 2.0, 3.0 and 4.0, we are going to link this with that also. Now, the pre-industrial era, that was before 1700s. GDP growth was tied to consumption due to population increase, and that too in the local level. Means, let's suppose in India, the population increases, demands increase, the industries here will manufacture increased products, GDP increases, gross domestic production increases. That was the, I would say, only way of increasing GDP. We were not thinking about or too much about, conquering the world market, expanding to the world market. Though we had traces of foreign trade, but that was very limited. Largely, the countries all over the world were dependent upon their domestic, I would say, economies. And in the domestic economies, demand increase could lead to production increases, and demand increase could happen only due to population increase. So that was the funda, that was the phenomena of GDP growth rate before 1700s, that is pre-industrial level. And yes, people did find it very difficult to meet the demands of the increasing domestic population. But slowly and gradually, industrial revolution came, and this was Industry 1.0, which we discussed in the last video. New and new inventions like the steam engine, the textile mills and all, they replaced human labor and started manufacturing goods. These new and new inventions were a result of, or were can be considered as aspects of innovation only. So these new machines replaced human labor, were manufacturing products which were high in precision, high in quality, as well as more in quantity, we can say. So innovation did the trick over here. Then people started to focus more on it, and technology-led innovation came to the fore. Technological innovation fueled economic progress by enhancing productivity and efficiency. Their main focus was enhancing productivity and efficiency, and humans realized one thing, that it can only happen with respect to technological innovations. We have made machines, these machines are manufacturing up to this particular capacity. But if we want to manufacture over here, if we want to increase the capacity, then technological innovations is the only way out. That is why technology-led innovation started or took the front seat. People were so keen that they started discussing about the total factor productivity. Total factor productivity can be defined as a measure of productive efficiency that it measures how much output can be produced from a certain amount of inputs. People wanted less inputs to be given and more outputs to be taken. And that will only happen when technology led innovations or technology based innovations will be there. So total factor productivity became total factor productivity, I'll repeat again, is basically a measure of the inputs given as compared to the outputs. Total factor productivity will be high when inputs will be less and outputs will be more. So people started focusing on this, and this was only achieved, or this would have only been achieved by more and more novel technological innovations. Now, leading nations focus on technological innovations. More and more countries all across the world, they started focusing on technological innovations. For example, USA. USA's focus on research and development or innovation was so high that you cannot even imagine. Internet was an accidental invention of the US Military Research and Development Department in 1949-50. The World Wide Web, the entire world runs on it. Now in your NCERT, there is a figure, class 12th NCERT Political Science Book 1, that there are 13 countries which are lined from 1 to 13 rank, and this ranking is on the basis of their investment in research and development. USA, number 1 position, and the next countries, 12 countries, if we club or if we add their investment in research and development, that added amount was less than USA's alone investment amount in research and development. New countries like Israel, they started focusing on more and more on research and development, and as a result today, they are one of the most highly advanced, or I would say highly, they are very highly advanced military capable country. Their military equipments are, state of the art high tech equipments. USSR, on the other hand, did not focus too much on research and development, and that was one of the prime reasons why USSR disintegrated in 1991, and it led to the end of Cold War. USA was the clear winner of the Cold War. Cold War was fought between USA and USSR. So many countries, they started to focus on research and development and innovation. Where was India? India was poor. India was developing, kind of underdeveloped at that time when we became independent. So our main focus was to, generate jobs, remove poverty, with less focus on research and development. But now we've gained the momentum, our economy is growing, and we are making sure now that our focus on research and development should not be less than any other country. Although, investment done by the government on research and development sector is only 0.64% of the GDP. Whereas countries like Israel, they are doing investments more than 5% of their GDP on research and development. Countries like USA, in absolute terms, it is doing the highest, but in terms of GDP or in comparison to GDP, it is investing somewhere around 3 to 4% of its GDP on research and development. Even countries like China, like developing countries like China, they are investing a lot on research and development. The maximum number of patents are filed from the Chinese. So it is very, very important in the present day world to focus on research and development. Steps taken by the government. Now, state sponsored initiatives, we have seen, and I've made you, know that, countries like Israel and USA, they are focusing too much on research and development. Why? Because their government is sponsoring initiatives. People per se will not go too much into research and development because it is not economically rewarding domain. You'll have to wait for the rewards, and there are less people who want to wait. So the government has to step in, give the funds, and it can lead to, more and more research and development. And we have two examples here where the state sponsored research and development had made them world leaders in research and development domain. The next is National Innovation Fund which have been set up by the government to empower grassroots technological innovations. Third is science, technology and innovation policy, which has been rolled out by the government, which also lays special emphasis on research and development. There is this Science, Research and Innovation System Srishti, which has also been established with a special emphasis on research and development. Then supporting innovative culture. You need to support innovative culture, particularly at the grassroots level. You need to promote it. And we Indians per se are very innovative. We have that particular term called as jugaad. Okay. We find solutions to many problems, but we do not take it to large scale. We have to take it to large scale also. If we are finding solutions to the local problems, those local problems or those solutions to the local problems can be solutions to the global problems as well. So we need to do it. Government needs to recognize it, and government needs to support this innovative culture. And finally, the step taken by the government is Atal Innovation Mission AIM, started in 2016, and its main aim or objective is to cultivate innovation and entrepreneurship. So both it is focusing on entrepreneurship. Basically, there are many entrepreneurs in the country with novel ideas, with novel solutions to the existing problems. So this Atal Innovation Mission promotes them as well. Now we'll see how it promotes. Programs under Atal Innovation Mission. The first is Atal Tinkering Labs. Atal Tinkering Labs was mentioned by the Prime Minister in his Independence Day speech as well. Now this Atal Tinkering Labs basically are labs in schools where this atmosphere of innovation is fostered right from the school level. So many schools in the country, they have these Atal Tinkering Labs where students indulge in research and development right from their school going age. Then Atal Incubation Centers. These focus on supporting innovators during the transition from idea to prototype to market. Now let's suppose I'm an entrepreneur. I have made a novel solution that for example, the farmers in Punjab and Haryana, every year they burn the stubble, which after cultivating rice, which is the leftover stubble, that is called as the farm waste or farm residue, it is called as. They burn it, and Delhi NCR suffers from a lot of pollution. So I came up with an innovative idea that, sir, I can solve this problem. I have developed an enzyme which will biodegrade those farm residue on the farm itself and convert it into a fertilizer within let's suppose 3-4 days. Now there is a certain product, it is called as Pusa decomposer, which but it decomposes those agricultural residue within, I would say, it takes 15 to 25 days. But I have made this new innovation, it will decompose it within 3 to 4 days. So that is something, a prototype which I have developed, and I want that prototype to be large scale so that the farmers can be availing it. So I can go to this Atal Incubation Center, please fund me, and they will fund my product, and my product will be available to the farmers after that. And a novel innovation has solved a problem for many people. Then Atal Community Innovation Centers. Now this Atal Community Innovation Center is the third such component of Atal Innovation Mission, where it aims to expand innovation beyond major cities to tier 2 and tier 3 cities. It promotes innovation with local communities by providing resources and guidance. And next is Atal New India Channel, that is the fourth component. It offers a platform for startups to solve pressing national challenges through innovation, provides funding, mentorship and resources for development and implementation of the solutions which these startups provide. So the objective of Atal Innovation Mission, fostering innovation, it is doing right from the school level, and promoting entrepreneurship also. It promotes entrepreneurs who have come up with novel ideas, novel solutions for the existing problems of the society. Now the next topic is agriculture, a journey from shortage to surplus. Now when I talk about a journey from shortage to surplus, it reminds me of the time when we got independence. At the time of independence, the state of our agricultural sector was very, very poor. The Britishers, as I've already explained, left our agricultural sector underdeveloped. 1949, Jawaharlal Nehru was visiting USA on his first foreign visit as a interim prime minister. The Truman administration was so much, I would say, open to him, and they offered a food aid worth 1 million metric tons. Jawaharlal Nehru rejected that food aid. The very next year, 1950, there was a drought-like situation in India where we experienced shortage of food crops. Actually, agriculture was rain dependent at that time. Agricultural or irrigation facilities were not developed as such. We had no other option rather than to resort to foreign food aid. We asked America, America, please give us food aid. You were offering it last year. America said, okay, don't worry. America passed a law, that was Public Law 480, PL 480, for providing food aid to India, and India was given food aid by America. We became dependent on their food aid. During these periods, 1950s, 1960s, the USA at times threatened us also that India, you do this, otherwise we will withdraw food aid. And this all happened despite India being a Krishi Pradhan Desh. Krishi Pradhan Desh simply means that we were an agrarian economy. Majority of our people, or majority of our workforce, which still is there in the agricultural sector, at that time around 80% of our workforce was engaged in the agricultural sector, and still we were begging. There was shortage. But in the 1960s, as I told you that, Lal Bahadur Shastri gave that slogan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, to motivate the Kisan as well as to motivate the Jawan after the loss of 1962 with China. So Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan was for motivating the farmers to cultivate more and more, because we had, laid the seeds of Green Revolution. Green Revolution was one such, I would say, blessing for India, which changed the face of agriculture in India. We actually transformed ourselves from shortage to surplus. From a begging bowl, we became a feeding hand through the years. Courtesy, Green Revolution. We became Atmanirbhar, we became self-dependent. And not only that, we started exporting agricultural products to other countries. We have ample for our consumption. Apart from it, we maintain a buffer stock, and apart from it, we are exporting also. According to this year's economic survey, India exported food grains worth $50 billion last year. That is 2022-23. And that is the record ever exports by India. Record ever agricultural exports by India. Again, courtesy, Green Revolution, which changed the face of Indian agriculture. So, let us understand what Green Revolution is. Green Revolution obviously led us from scarcity to surplus. Now, Green Revolution catalyzed by the introduction of high-yielding variety of seeds and disease-resistant crop varieties, which simply means, HYV seeds, fertilizers, pesticides. These kind of agricultural inputs were given to the farmers, which were earlier not given. Apart from it, the government also set up this L.K. Jha Food Grain Price Committee. L.K. Jha Food Grain Price Committee was the committee who recommended the minimum support price, MSP. It is basically a predetermined price which is declared by the government to the farmers that you grow crops, we will be buying those crops from you at this particular price. So, the government every year releases MSP. which gives the farmers the confidence for, cultivating the crops, growing the crops, cultivating the crops, and they have this surety that we have a buyer who will be buying at this particular price. Now I just have to cultivate, produce and cultivate and sell it. So this is all what happened in Green Revolution. The first ever MSP, which was part of Green Revolution, was rolled out in the year 1967 on the recommendations of L.K. Jha Food Grain Price Committee. Green Revolution entailed high-yielding variety of seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, disease-resistant crop varieties. All these scientific innovations, again, innovation is here, last topic which we covered, actually changed the face of agricultural productivity in the country. But you should also know that this Green Revolution did not happen pan-India. It happened only in 3 states or 3 regions: Punjab, Haryana and Western UP. And just imagine, these 3 regions were feeding the entire country. So much productivity. Why these 3 regions were only chosen? There were 2 reasons. One reason is it is the most fertile region of the country, and the second reason is that irrigation facilities were fully developed in these regions by now, by 1960s. Punjab and Haryana were fed by the Indira Gandhi Canal, which is coming out from the Harike barrage as a result of the construction of Bhakra Nangal Dam. Western UP was fed by the Ganga Canal system. So, ample water was available. Agriculture was now not rain dependent in these 3 regions at least. And that is why the farmers were able to produce more and more and more and more. It not only led to self-sufficiency for the country, but it also increased the standard of living of those farmers. So that was Green Revolution, which is still continuing. Who was the brain behind Green Revolution? Dr. Norman Borlaug actually invented these high-yielding variety of seeds. The power of innovation, the power of research and development. And it was M.S. Swaminathan who took the leadership to implement this Green Revolution in India. He was also a scientist. So the father of Green Revolution in India is considered as M.S. Swaminathan, but the father of high-yielding variety of seeds is considered as Norman Borlaug, who actually found out, high-yielding variety of seeds for wheat, which is one of the staple crops for the country. So this surge in productivity not only ensured food security but also paved the way for self-sufficiency and agricultural exports by the country. Now, this figure you can see the production of food grains in India, overall food grains. 50.82 was the million tons production in 1950-51, which is now 315.72. The agricultural land, I would say the area of our country is the same. It has not increased nor decreased, but the productivity has increased. Courtesy, Green Revolution. Courtesy, innovation. Jai Anusandhan. Achievements of India. Now, when I talk about agriculture sector, it is not only limited to rice, wheat, or oil seeds. It is also encompassing horticulture. It is also encompassing, I would say, animal husbandry. It is a very broad term, agriculture. So we need to, not only view food grain production in agriculture. Food grain production is one important aspect of agriculture, but apart from it, horticulture products and poultry or these animal husbandry and all, these are also part of agriculture. Now, achievements of India. India leads in sugar production in the world, largest producer of sugar, leading producer of millets. Millets named as Sri Anna. By the government, we'll talk about it in detail in the future slides. Then India ranks second in rice production after China, holds 14.14% of global wheat production share in 2020. Also the second largest producer of wheat after China, India is. Then India leads in milk production, 222 million tons of milk produced every year. And white revolution happened. Dr. Verghese Kurian was the founding father of it. Then India is the second largest fish producer in the world. Largest is China again. And India is the third highest egg producer in the world. Largest China, second number USA, third is India, followed by Mexico and Brazil. So this is basically the achievements of India in the agricultural sector. And you can see that we are not only talking about rice or wheat in agriculture, we are talking about sugar also, millets also, we are talking about milk also, fisheries also, eggs also. That is agriculture. Now millets, when I talk about millets, so you need to know, or you might be knowing by now, that the year 2023 is the International Year of Millets. And this International Year of Millets has been designated on the request of India. Why India requested this? India is the largest producer of millets, we can note this fact. India has named it Shri Anna, we can note this fact. But why India advocated for designating 2023 as the International Year of Millets? So let's go back to the previous year, 2022. 2022 was the year when the Russia-Ukraine war started. 2022 was the year when multiple heat waves impacted, those regions of the world which did not experience heat waves at all, like Europe and all. These heat waves led to a lot of agricultural productivity loss, including wheat. Those are wheat growing regions. So wheat productivity was hampered. On the other hand, Russia blockaded 4 ports in Ukraine and did not allow Ukraine to export wheat to other countries. Ukraine is also among the top 10 producers of wheat in the world. Top producer is China, followed by India. USA is also there, and Ukraine is also there, and Ukraine exports wheat to a lot of countries, which led to shortage of wheat in the international market. India also levied export bans on wheat because there were heat waves here which destroyed or negatively impacted the wheat crop. Wheat considered as one of the staple crops for a lot of people around the world. Now we wanted to make this, awareness among the people that there are alternates to wheat. We should not solely be dependent on wheat because see, climate change is happening. Although we are doing all our efforts to save it, but heat waves, they will come and they may destroy the wheat crop in the future as well. So it does not mean that you will, sleep hungry because wheat is not available. You should find other, I would say, foods to eat. And the other food which India was pointing towards is none other than millets. Millets, some of the millets are more nutritious than wheat. They have more fiber content in them. And nowadays, people are, consuming more and more millets. Like there is ragi, there is sorghum, amaranth. All these are millets. So that is why India wanted to promote this, or India wanted to, make people around the world aware about the nutritional qualities of millet, and millets can also be considered as an alternate to wheat. Millet pancakes are available. Earlier pancakes were used to were made by wheat only. People used to consume chapatis or pita breads. Now they're making pita breads out of millets. This is the magic of, a campaign, a global campaign. This International Year of Millets is a global campaign which has made people all across the world aware about the nutritional capabilities of millets. India, no doubt, is the largest producer of millets. Around 20 to 25% of the global millets grow in India. And the best part is that these millets are growing in semi-arid and arid regions. And semi-arid and arid regions are increasing year by year due to global warming. So these millets are also prone to, I would say, shocks from global warming or climate change. They can grow in semi-arid and arid regions. They can grow in high temperatures, not a problem. And they are more nutritious than wheat. We just need to divert ourselves from wheat to millets. This is what is the objective of, terming this year 2023 as the International Year of Millets. Now, with targeted strategies and government support, millet production has surged, aiding nutritional security. The cultivation of millets has soared, setting the stage for India to become a global hub for these nutrient-rich grains. India is already the largest producer, and India is set to become the global hub also for these grains. Next is oil seeds production. Yellow revolution it was called as, and the yellow revolution marked breakthrough in oil seed production, innovative cultivation practices and introduction of advanced crop production technologies led to dramatic increase in oil seeds output. India's oil seeds production was 108.30 lakh metric tons in 1985-86, and now it is impressive 400,000 million tons in 2022-23. So much increase. So we can see here the blue line which is going here. Oil seeds are groundnut, soya bean seeds, rape seeds and mustard seeds, sunflower seeds. All these are made or used to make cooking oils and all. Sarson ka tel or groundnut oil. All these are formed due to oil seeds production. So that this spur in production from 108.30 to 400,000 million tons is the result of yellow revolution. Then milk production, white revolution. Actually, white revolution addressed India's milk crisis. The highest amount of cattle, the highest population of cattle in the world is in India. So it is but natural that India had to be the largest producer of milk. But in the 1960s, 1970s, it was not the case. Milk availability was less. And at that time, less consumption of milk was also there. But it is a global or universal fact that as and when the incomes rises of the people, the consumption patterns they change. Earlier, people when their incomes was low, they were only dependent on cereals to meet the basic necessities of life. But when their incomes are rising, they will also look for cereals plus poultry products plus dairy products to enhance their nutrition. So the income levels are rising, the milk consumption was also rising, but milk production was not so much rising. And Varghese Kurian, who was heading the National Dairy Development Board (NDDB), launched Operation Flood in the 1970s. Now, what is Operation Flood? It established a network of village level milk cooperatives. Now, in the village areas, almost all the farmers are having at least 1 or 2 cattle, modern processing plants and a seamless supply chain. Now, Amul, Anand Milk Union Limited, you see, the farmers in the nearby area, they contribute their milk. Then this Amul company processes the milk, pasteurizes the milk, packs it in the packets, sells it in the market. Whatever money Amul gets from the market, around 70 to 80% of that goes back to the farmers. Obviously, in the proportion of their contribution of the milk. And this 70 to 80% flow back of money to the farmers is one of the highest in the world in this setup, this cooperation setup. Now, India has been a global leader in milk production for over a decade with a total production of around 222 million tons in the year 2022-23. Second number is USA, which is producing 102 million tons. So behind. So that is about the milk revolution or the white revolution. You can see 1951, 17 million tons, 1961, 20, 1971, 22. From here, the white revolution happened and you can see the rise. 210 million tons in 2021, 222 million tons in 2022. Fisheries production. Blue revolution. India is the second largest fishes or I would say fisheries producing country of the world. We have a very big coastline, around 7,500 kilometers coastline we have where the fishing community lives. And blue revolution happened not only boosted fish production but also elevated India's status as a leading seafood exporter. So if I see 2021-22 around 16,187,000 tons of fish production was done in India, which was way more than 8400 tons done in 2010-11, just almost the double. Now the government is also running various schemes like the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, which aims to give insurance to the fishermen and boost fishes production, fish processing units and all these the government is doing. And the government is not only focusing on rice or wheat, it is also focusing on these sectors. Then poultry production, that is silver revolution which happened. India is the third largest egg producer globally. First is China, second is USA, third is India. So that has also increased, and this contributes in again nutritional security of the population. Eggs are a source or a vital source of protein, and once the carbohydrates, fats are given, protein is the next macronutrient which should be given to the population, and we are going for increasing or more and more egg production, and maybe in the times to come we will become the second largest producer or egg producer, and God knows the largest producer also. So this is it. But all these achievements you are seeing, these achievements first of all were not easy to achieve. Second of all, there are still challenges ahead of us. We need to address those challenges, and one of the major challenge in the present day scenario in agriculture is climate change. Climate change, actually, I gave you this example of wheat, how climate change impacted the productivity of wheat all over the world. Similarly, climate change can impact productivity of any crop. Let's suppose floods come. Due to climate change, these floods have come. It will destroy the crops. Heat waves, climate change, destroy the crops. So we need to be ready for that. PUSA actually developed a new variety of wheat, HD3385 variety of wheat last year. Now what is this variety of wheat? Nothing I would say fancy in it, but yes, of this variety of wheat HD3385, early sowing and early cultivation is possible. You can sow this wheat as early as October and cultivate it as early as February. Else the cultivation of the wheat is done in March or April, and then you celebrate Baisakhi in April 13th. Now by that time, April, March, heat waves come. Last year in March heat waves came. That is why wheat productivity was impacted. But in February, heat waves are not coming. That time you cultivate it, you sell it. Productivity will not be impacted. So these innovations, again linking with innovation, the first part, are actually very, very important. Initiatives like National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture, Agri-Tech Infrastructure Fund, which aims for making more and more, I would say, cold storages and I would say storage units for agricultural products, so that they do not get wasted during transportation, during storing and all. Now wastage will also reduce the supply of food products in the market, which will lead to inflation, food inflation and all, and less availability of agricultural products. So we are focusing on this also. Digital tools, precision agriculture and marketing linkages are redefining modern farming. We are focusing on this. Many agri-tech startups have sprung up. Now from financial support to crop insurance and institutional credit, we are also doing it. Like crop insurance scheme, there is Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, which although is meeting with certain challenges, but yes, it is gaining momentum. Institutional credit, we are providing credit to the farmers for input through PACS, Primary Agricultural Credit Societies, which are there in almost every village in the country now. These primary agricultural credit societies have been computerized also under this budget, 2022-23-24 budget. Then National Agriculture Market, ENAM, was a step taken by the government in 2015-16. Now this is what any farmer can sell its produce anywhere in the country, wherever that farmer is getting good price. Earlier, the farmers were restricted to their respective local area mandis only, but now they can sell it anywhere, their agricultural products, which gives them choices. So this has also been established. So India's agricultural journey is a testament to scientific innovation, green revolution, a resolute political will, because it is the political leaders who implemented it, and the unwavering toil of farmers. Without their hard work, these achievements which we have made as a country would not be possible. Without their efforts, we have become self-sufficient. We are also exporting food grains worth $50 billion. It would not have been possible. So it is a collective effort of the farmers, of the scientific community, as well as of the government. Challenges do exist, but we need to take care of these challenges. We need to find solutions to those challenges. New and new challenges will come in the future also, and we need to find solutions to those challenges as well. How we can find? Obviously, innovation is one key way of finding the solution to those challenges. And you need to link or interlink, various concepts like these. And that is why purposely I kept both of these, innovation and agriculture, in one part, that is this second part of August 2023 Yojana. So this is it from this particular part. I'll be meeting you with the third part in the next video. Jai Hind. Till then, keep studying, keep reading, keep revising.